Hey you guys, it's Brit. Tonight we're here to talk about a couple of different things. We're going to cover the LaBrant family. We're going to talk about Joshua David Evans and Colleen Ballinger. We're also going to talk about Colleen's sibling, Chris Ballinger, and his wife, Jessica. And I also want to touch on Adrielle Sigler and something that she has been doing lately. It's been a while since I've talked about her, but my God, what she said the other day literally made my jaw hit the floor. It's really hard for me to be like really surprised at some of the stuff that people will say because people are just wild and they rage bait and all of the things, but what she had to say was absolutely insane to me. And I also want to touch really quickly on Gypsy Rose because she posted a TikTok that got a whole lot of people talking, and I wanted to share my thoughts about that as well. So we're going to go over everything. If you're interested, please keep watching. Let's go ahead and touch on the Ballingers at the top of this video because there are a couple things I want to discuss. The first thing is Joshua David Evans, who we all know as Colleen's ex-husband, posted this photo, and he's in his healing era. He's getting a lot of support. I'm one of those supporters. You know, he's staying in his own lane and just posting content. It's not, you know, he's certainly not at the level that he was before as far as like doing daily vlogs and all of this stuff, but obviously he's pacing himself and receiving some support and some new followers, which I think is awesome. But he posted this photo right here, and it had the song Hilary Duff, What Dreams Are Made Of as the background music. After he posted this, Colleen decided to post from Disneyland and use the same song. I know a lot of people might think, oh, that's just not that big of a deal. That's, you know, a popular song. People know of that song. I think that Colleen is always going to get her digs in any way she can. And she knows a lot of her supporters will ignore it and say that people are coming to conclusions and people are blowing things out of proportion, because that's just who she has groomed her audience to be, is to look past her bad behavior and continue to applaud and support her. I think this was 100% intentional, direct, and I find it to be tacky. Grow up. Like, grow up and get over yourself. I don't understand, like, the ego on some of these people is just mind-boggling to me. Get over it. You have your family, you have your kids, like, allow life to move on. Like, you're not always the victim in every storyline that you put out there. And people have started to see through it, alas, after this long, and raise some of the concerns with Colleen. And I just think that this, it goes to show her lack of creativity. It goes to show how bothered she is. It goes to show how big her ego is. And I think it's pathetic. But I wanted to throw that in here. Now, of course, as we know, Colleen also went to Paris, and there were some screen grabs that were floating around Reddit. I will include them. She did a video with Teeny, which is her friend that she went to see Taylor Swift in Paris with. Some of the screen grabs of how unamused and annoyed her friend looks are just funny, so I will pop those in as well. I understand that friends, you know, friends go through a lot of like trials and hard times with you and all of that kind of stuff, but I truly, in my heart of hearts, like, I cannot understand how anybody would continue to stand beside Colleen Ballinger after everything that's happened with her. But I don't know, maybe I just hold my friends to a little bit of a higher standard. There's no way I would let that roll. Let's also talk about what the Ballinger family has been up to. Over on TikTok, they're playing board games, and it is commission paid. Of course, you know, they're not just gonna play board games and put it out there for free for subscribers to watch if they want to watch. It has to be a link. It has to be a product. It has to be an ad placement. It has to be sponsored. Who would really care about watching Chris and Jessica Ballinger, two of the biggest child exploiters on YouTube, play some stupid board game? I can't think of, like, I would rather clean my bathroom than watch these two play board game. But hey, who am I? But I just thought it was interesting. Like, it always circles back to, like, nothing is done with pure intent when it comes to these family vloggers. It always has to be, it's an ad, it's a sponsorship, it's a way for us to make more money. Even though we already exploit our kids and have made a ton off of their backs, how can we still continue to plug stupid games that, like, nobody needs? Nobody needs a product that was pushed by the Bellingers. Next, I want to talk about Cole and Savannah LaBrant welcomed their new child into the world this past week, and the baby wasn't even hours old, and they literally already have a full-blown vlog posted for their subscribers to take a look inside the labor and delivery room as Savannah has yet another child. I find this to be so strange. I've always found labor vlogs to be very odd that you would post that to the internet. Now, I can understand filming it, and if you want to, like, show it to your kids later, or maybe show, like, your parents if they don't live close by and they couldn't be there. I understand that within reason. But to film that and automatically, like, your child isn't even a day old and they already have their birth posted for millions of people to watch. You know, I get it. I'm a pretty private person. Yes, I am on YouTube, but as far as, a lot of stuff, I choose to just keep it to myself for privacy reasons. And because I've always said the people in my life that I love and respect, I don't plaster them on the internet. I chose to be online. They did not. To film that vlog knowing that it's going to get you a lot of views and a really big payday. Family vloggers' biggest paydays are birth vlogs. And it's been that way for many, many years. And I just think that it's really icky to allow people into the labor room as you're having this child that did not consent to having their birth put on YouTube or social media so that you can continue to make money. The LaBrants, the Ace family, and the Bellingers, we're talking about some of the biggest child exploiters on social media. And they will never do better. They will never change for the sake and safety and well-being of their children. And I find it to be heartbreaking. I want to touch on this photo that Gypsy Rose posted. So she literally set this up. I couldn't imagine doing this. This is just ridiculous to me. Surrounded by her medical records, said, "My medical records, healing begins with acceptance." And she's using the hashtag Munchausen by proxy, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, life after lockup, Gypsy Rose on Lifetime. And it says healing is not linear. Could you imagine, like, getting all your medical records, putting them in a circle, sitting in the middle of the circle, and then having someone take a photo of you? I don't know. That's kind of weird and a little cringy, but she pinned that video to the top because, as we know, she has always said she's an advocate. She's doing advocacy work. So I guess her setting up a photo shoot, being surrounded by her medical records, is her idea of advocacy. But nevertheless, what I would like to say about this is two things can be true at the same time. She can have gone through a really terrible childhood, which I've acknowledged numerous times, and she could be not deserving of celebrity status current day. Because I have always acknowledged that I don't think that she had a fair childhood, and I don't think that any child should have to go through medical procedures and surgeries when they don't need said medical procedures and or surgeries. But what she has been doing since her time after prison, the exploitation, the getting snarky, the being messy, and then saying haters don't matter, but yet she's constantly clapping back in the comments of people who discuss her. It's the hypocrisy. It's the fake advocacy. And anytime she gets called out for this, she'll post something like this, and it's literally one photo and saying that this is, like, what is this supposed to do? What is this supposed to prove? The last time she did this, it was this side by side, and she said Munchausen by proxy awareness. And that's it. And that got almost 3 million views. This is not advocacy. This is somebody who has been gifted a platform unfairly and is enjoying the celebrity status. And she is going to use Munchausen by proxy to continue to get her name out there and get likes and clicks and interviews and more ways to make money. But you can use a cause and you cannot be an advocate. And I think that's what Gypsy Rose is. I think she really, really, really wants to be famous. And I think that she's willing to use any cause to make money. And as a reminder, Dee Blanchard was never diagnosed with Munchausen by proxy. That was something that was done after her passing. And according to me and my common sense logic, I don't think that you can diagnose people with Munchausen by proxy when they're dead. That's just a thought. That's what's going on with Gypsy Rose. Again, rinse and repeat. It didn't deserve its own video, so I'm throwing it in here. But we'll continue to see what she's up to. Lastly, I want to cover Adrielle Sigler. Adrielle is somebody who I've talked about a couple times in the past, and she is extremely enraging. She constantly rage baits and does outrage marketing to get clicks and views on her videos. She has put out that her son was beat up in the past couple of weeks, and they're moving for safety, and that she put up a GoFundMe. People are literally donating to her GoFundMe, even though she's part of the creator fund on TikTok. But either way, people want to donate. That's their decision. The problem that I have is in a recent video, she compared her son being beat up to Sandy Hook. I'll roll the clip.
My 14-year-old son's assault has become a Sandy Hook conspiracy theory.
How does that make any sense? How on earth does your son, who is 14, being beat up, which is not okay. I'm never here to condone hitting each other, jumping each other, whatever. I'm never here for that. We are talking about a mass casualty situation where somebody went into an elementary school and unalived children and faculty members, literally elementary school children. I remember when Sandy Hook happened, and I was just so shocked to hear that was the world. That's the world that we're living in, where these sweet elementary school children went to school where they should have been able to learn in a safe and positive and uplifting environment. To have that happen was just beyond anything that I could really comprehend at the time. And it's still tough to comprehend how somebody could do that. But Adrielle Sigler, how dare you? How dare you compare your teenage son getting into a fight to a absolute devastating massacre like Sandy Hook? I really wish that she would just, I wish people would stop clicking on her videos, stop donating to GoFundMes and giving donations and lives and all of this kind of stuff. She is a terrible and awful individual. But I missed my upload yesterday. I've been, busy and trying to kind of manage it all. And I'm doing okay. I'm certainly not like super stressed out or anything like that. But I want to get this up for y'all right away. And of course, there will be more content coming. Over the next few weeks, it might be a little spotty here and there, but of course, I appreciate your all's patience, and I'm so excited to get into the new space, and we'll see what I'm going to do for filming setup and what the backdrop is going to be. I know a lot of y'all like this backdrop because there's a lot going on, and I like it too, but obviously, we'll have to figure something out, and y'all can help me with the process. I'm really excited, but that's going to be it for today. So if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.